Welcome to Inside the Game, the one-stop shop for everything cool in video games. I'm one of your hosts, Drew Bosley. Coming up on today's show, Chris and I lose a couple riders with Scream Ride. From there, I talk to Pixelbomb Games about their upcoming title, Beyond Flesh and Blood. After that, Chris and I travel back in time with medieval engineers. And to end things off, a little zombies with State of Decay Year 1 Survival Edition. But first, here's Chris with the Inside Scoop. Welcome to the Inside Scoop. I'm your host, Chris Forget, and tonight we're talking about Jake Solomon, creative director at 2K's new XCOM 2. Coming in November 2015, you can expect it just for the Christmas season. The secret paramilitary organization known as XCOM is largely forgotten and must strike back to reclaim control of Earth and free mankind from the alien rulers. Warner Brothers and TT Games have released with the LEGO Group, LEGO Worlds. Look out Minecraft, here's your competition. LEGO Worlds is going to combine all of the different LEGO aspects into a giant world where you can build your own castles, you can build your own creations. Alright, it's a new month, we're talking about June, so now we're also talking about Xbox games with gold. For Xbox One, you can start to play from Double Fine Productions, The Massive Chalice, and for the third time in a row, you now get Pool Nation FX if you haven't picked it up for the last 2 months. Like, really? And then on the first half of the month, for the Xbox 360, you get Just Cause 2, a fantastic game. And then in off the month, pick up Thief. It's okay.
That is still the greatest prize. If you got a job for me, let's hear it.
Alright, PlayStation Plus members, for June you can expect to play Call of War as Gunslinger on the PS3, Cloudberry Kingdom, and if you're one of the few to have a PlayStation Vita, you can also play Futuridium EP Deluxe, Super Exploding Zoo on the PlayStation Vita, and for PlayStation 4 members, you get Skulls of Shogun Bonafide Edition, and one of my personal favorites, Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes. Microsoft and Crystal Dynamics teased us this morning with a little glimpse of what to expect with Rise of the Tomb Raider. You can watch the full trailer over at our website at 4nextlevelgamers.com, but you can also wait, as Microsoft will have the revealing premiere of Rise of the Tomb Raider at this year's E3 press conference, June 15th.
The desire to discover something more.
Part 2 on the E3 coverage, we're going to talk about Microsoft. What do we expect from the big Xbox Microsoft corporation? Yeah, the highs, the lows, what do we expect? Because they have had some issues in the last couple years, obviously with Sony just winning over that fan base, that mind share. So what Microsoft really needs to do is once again come out games. They got to come out swinging, because right now that's what they need is their backers are the gamers. We got to focus on the gamers. So how do we get that? You got to bring out Halo. They've got to secure some kind of shooter. So in the past, you've seen a lot of that Call of Duty. So I would think they're going to have Black Ops 3 from Call of Duty. Now, rumor has it that they've also been played on the PS4 first before Microsoft, which would be a first. So Microsoft has to go in there and they got to secure that. I think one of their biggest titles this year is going to be Tomb Raider. That they need to push massively at the E3 press conference, because Sony doesn't have that kind of genre right now with their Uncharted being pushed back to 2016. So if you want that kind of feel, that adventurous game, there's only one spot you're getting that. It's going to be Microsoft. Absolutely. What also I want to see is, what is Rare doing? Rare's gone quiet. The last game they did was Kinect Sports Rivals for the Kinect, which is something I do not expect to see here at all at the press conference.
And no Kinect at all?
No, I think
you're not going to show any Kinect?
No, they went and they flushed it right down the toilet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see anything with that. If anything is going to be there, it's going to be on the show floor. They will not have this on the press conference. I think it'd be an absolute mistake. They said it's still there, but it's only for those developers that feel it's going to enhance the experience. Now, let's face it, no one's really doing much for it.
No, I very rarely use my Kinect for anything but to tell my Xbox what to do.
Yeah, so let's get back to Rare, because this is I'm a huge fan of Rare, way back from the 64 days. So what are we going to see? Are we going to come out with Battletoads? There's rumors of Battletoads. Are they working on Battletoads?
I sure hope so. I love Battletoads. Battletoads, that was before 64. That was Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Sega Genesis had Battletoads. It was amazing. Oh, I love that game. Oh, I want to see a movie.
Oh man, I don't know that. but are they working on Battletoads? Phil Spencer came out with a Battletoads shirt, so he likes to play with the crowd. It's awesome. What about Perfect Dark? We talked about Nintendo 64. They had Perfect Dark. That was a huge staple. If they want to hear that crowd roar, they need to have Perfect Dark there.
Yeah, part 2 or some sort of aspect of it.
Maybe, just anything, because it's been so long that there's a whole new generation now that's on the Xbox that have probably never either heard of it or have heard of it but never played.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I've ever played it.
So there you go. So that'd be a huge pickup for them.
Yeah.
I think we'll see Quantum Break there as well. I don't think we'll see it this year. I think what we're going to see is another trailer. Hopefully something worthwhile, something meaty, right? I want to see more content. The show, it's funny how this works because there's a show and the game that's integrated into one. Let's see how the relationship works between that. I think we'll see that at E3. How much of it we'll see on the actual press conference for Microsoft, I don't know.
I don't think it's going to be up there.
You don't think so?
I think it'll be at E3. They'll have a booth, but I don't think it's going to be on the main stage. It's not that big, I find.
No, it'll be there, and I think we're even going to get a release date for next year. I think they're going to show us all.
That I would like.
Well, we'd love to hear your thoughts on what all your predictions are for the Microsoft E3 press conference. Head over to our website, 4nextlevelgamers.com, and let us know.
Tonight on Crossfire, we're talking Scream Ride from Frontier Development. Drew, now I understand that you had some issues with this game.
Yeah, it's not exactly what I expected it to be. I had higher intentions, higher expectations of the game, because we're talking about Frontier Developments. These guys are the guys who brought us Zoo Tycoon on the Xbox One, Connectimals, other Roller Coaster Tycoon games. Like, there's more to what they normally have done in the past versus what they brought here with Scream Ride.
Now, I liked Scream Ride. I like the development part of it with the engineering, and I really enjoyed the demolition part, so on the other end. Now, the actual first part, the actual Scream Ride, where you're a rider on the roller coaster, I thought that was a little short.
Yeah, Scream Rider, right? There's 3 portions of the game. It's career mode, but you do 3 of these little sections to advance to the next level. So you do Scream Rider, where you ride the roller coaster and you got to balance all your guys without dumping them out of the coaster. You got Demolition, which is my favorite. Which is like
that's great.
Angry Birds 3D version, right? Where you're sending your guys in the little pod and you're destroying the buildings and sending them through hoops and hitting targets. And then there's the Engineer, which I found frustrating as you try to build a roller coaster. To me, it just isn't what I wanted. I wanted a roller coaster tycoon-like game, not this.
Roller Coaster Tycoon is so old, though. Like, I can't see them developing that for an Xbox One or a PS4 or whatever else.
They brought us Zoo Tycoon. Why couldn't they do that?
How good was Zoo Tycoon?
I love Zoo Tycoon.
Really?
Absolutely. I'm a fan of it.
See,
you feed the animals. You use the
animals.
Oh, it was awesome. The animals look so good too. I like Zoo Tycoon. You can't laugh at this. You don't know what you're talking about.
Zoo Tycoon just doesn't cut it, especially for an Xbox One game.
It works though.
Yeah, well, you could play it on the Xbox 360 and it'd be just as good. You don't need it on the new console.
Yes, you do.
No. And I found this as well. The Scream Ride didn't need to be on the Xbox One.
Sure.
Could have been a 360 game. I could have bought it for the 360 and it would have been just as good. I love the engineering part. I love building my own roller coaster. I love being able to have to figure out the parts and where it goes, and you can't dump the Scream Riders off.
But it's not the whole coaster you're building sections.
Well, that's where the sandbox comes in.
Sure.
You can build the whole coaster. Every time you advance a level in engineering, you get more parts for your sandbox. So you can build all the different roller coasters and make it as high and as exciting as you want. You can make it jump. You can make it do anything. Yeah.
That's what I did. I didn't like it. This isn't what I wanted. I wanted that sim feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, Demolition. That was cool. You get the different little pods and you're able to fire those things as fast as you can right into other buildings. That's great. Blows up, explosions, buildings collapse, and it's amazing, I thought.
I could have had that game.
Yeah?
I would have taken that game and I didn't need the rest of it.
Yeah.
I liked that part. And to sit down with my kids, then I can play the game. My kids want to play the game. So there are aspects of it that aren't that bad as I'm making it out to sound. It's just really not for me is what it comes down to. It's not what I want to play. If I'm playing this, I'm in for about 10 minutes. Gone. I'm on to something else.
I like how it's an easy game to play. You know, you can sit down and you can fire off these guys into buildings, or you can try to build a track or try to keep the guys on the track.
Yep.
And you don't have to concentrate on all this micromanagement stuff like you enjoy. Like, there's other games out there that you can use that with. If you want an easy game, it's easy to play, this is a good game for you. Okay, so what would you rate this game then?
I'm only going to give Scream Ride a 6.
6, wow. I'm going to give it a 7, just because I enjoy the Demolition.
Chris really enjoyed the different game modes Scream Ride had to offer, plus it's family friendly. However, confusing controls with no lasting appeal, I really just wanted Demolition mode.
Alright, so we are here with the team from Beyond Flesh and Blood, Pixelbomb Games. Gentlemen, why don't you introduce yourself and what you do for the game?
Okay, I'm Phil and I'm the lead coder on the game.
My name's Lee and I'm the lead designer on the game.
My name's Steven and I'm the lead artist on the game.
Alright, all three. Now gentlemen, what exactly is Beyond Flesh and Blood?
Okay, it is a third-person action adventure in the Unreal Engine where you play as a mech in a post-apocalyptic version of Manchester.
Very good. Now you guys are located in Manchester, correct?
Yeah, we are, yeah.
So you kind of want to just kind of flip your own location on its head and destroy the place? Is that kind of the premise behind this?
Yeah, that is part of it. Yeah, we're literally from where we're sat now, just out the window, we can see Manchester from where we are. So it's fantastic for reference material and stuff. But yeah, it's really exciting to reimagine Manchester.
Now, who's the main protagonist? Do we have a protagonist for the game?
Okay, you actually play as a chap called Ethan, and he is on a space station in orbit. But then throughout the game, you are piloting combat frames which have been sent down to the surface of the Earth.
Very good, very good. Now I've had a glimpse of the game itself, and it looks like you're mixing up a few genres within the game, like a bit of stealth play, some cover-based shooter, and some base building. Is that correct as well?
Yes, I suppose. So it's basically a third-person action shooter at its core. But the game's split into two sort of sections, so the single-player game and what we're calling a wave-based combat mode. With reference to setting up a base, you're basically hacking into objects in the world to fortify a base that's already there.
Whereas the main focus that we actually wanted was to not make a Gears of War clone. So in the combat frames, you actually can't take any you cover it all. You rely on your suit's powers and capabilities to play the game.
Let's talk about some of the gear and the abilities we're getting. Can you elaborate on some of that?
Okay, yeah, you start off in the Mark 1, which is basically a 12-foot tall JCB, and it is not built for your combat, but it has two rather large arms and is quite prone to tearing people to pieces. and then as you move through the game, you will unlock and upgrade the suits, and they will become smaller and you're more agile and be more combat focused. So by the end of it, there was a special suit that will you combine all the powers of your previous suits and have some crazy anti-grav things in.
Are the environments we're in, are they not like an open world kind of sandbox feel, or how does that kind of pertain to the game?
The single player part of the game, which is our main focus, that is a self-contained linear experience. So you will start at one point, and we have a lot of custom events that we want to actually happen. Whereas the wave-based mode, this is a mode that you will unlock at the end of the game. In this area, you will play in a large combat arena, and that's more open plan, and go where you actually want.
Gotcha. Now that's a kind of a co-op feel. So is that a sort of a spin on the multiplayer, but not a competitive multiplayer aspect?
While we would like to include multiplayer in this game, we are focusing on making the best single-player story that we actually can. Because if we did shoot one in your multiplayer, it would take time away from making an awesome single-player campaign. The world is ripe to make a multiplayer-based mode on this, but we'll talk about that in the future.
We have been considering a co-op mode for the web-based combat maps, but that's still on the table.
Well, yeah, single player first. That is the important thing.
That's the main focus, sure.
And yeah, if you like what you've heard, then download the demo and try it. And we have forums for feedback. And I guess just want to say thank you, really.
Tonight on First Impressions, we're talking Medieval Engineer from Keen Software House. The game that's a sandbox, make you build a castle and defend it from whoever comes your way.
Yeah, it's very unique, I found. It's kind of got this Minecraft feel. You're not crafting per se, but you're building whatever you'd like, right? So I built a bunch of houses. So I've started to build a city or a village. I want to call it a village. I'm not going to call it a city because it takes forever to build one house.
Oh, it does.
So I started building this village, and then from there I'm going to build my castle.
Right.
And you can plan out, and so because we are only Steam's early access, we're very early in the build cycle, and they've given us a few props, and each time it seems like a couple updates here or there coming, and they're constantly adding things and multiplayer, and then they're adding other people too, which is pretty cool. I've got a guy now, he's a woodcutter, and I send him out and he's cutting wood, and I've added this guy over here, and he's doing this, and I've got a servant that just follows me wherever I go. But the main part that I enjoy is the actual building, because if you can go back in time and build, I love that medieval setting.
Yeah, that was one thing I
cool
did enjoy.
setting.
If I had to pick out something, it's the medieval setting. You know, the castle, the bricks, the stone. You know, you can build this thing as big as you want if you have the time, and it's a castle. You can build actual mechanics to it too, kind of like the Minecraft aspect, where you know you can have a drawbridge, or you could have anything that your mind can think up. Obviously, now there is. Another problem is it takes forever. You did touch on this. I found, building a house, you can multiply that house. So you could...
It's like a copy and paste, right?
Copy paste, which is a great...
Sure.
It's great if you want the same thing. But if you're building a one-of-a-kind castle and you want this thing to be massive, you're looking at forever to build it.
Well, if you build one tower, right, and you copy that tower and you put it over here and then you fill it in.
Yeah.
Right? There's a lot that can go right with this game, and I think there's a few things that could go wrong with this game. There's a structural integrity to the structures you build too. So I had a board up and then I had a board on top and it just went poof. I'm like, oh, that's not going to work. My plan's not working there. So I had to readjust my strategy for that. But yeah, I've got, 6, 7, 8 houses in this little village I've started, and I got like a little central square going on. And
wow.
Oh, this thing is, I love it. It's really cool. But like you said, it's a time investment when you're building and playing something like this.
Yeah, it's hours just to complete one task for whatever village you're doing or your castle. Like, I understand that you can have, the battles back and forth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But when you spend hours and hours and tens of hours, days building this thing, and then someone builds a trebuchet next to it and knocks it down, it's frustrating, I'm sure.
Well, that's the last thing I want to do is have somebody come into my world and just demolish everything I've worked so hard at doing.
Yeah.
So it's up to you, right? You can either do that and you set up these battles and you can go head to head, or you just kind of forget about it and go about building your world. It's one of those things where
then there's no point. There's no point to the game.
But what's the point of Minecraft? You just build away.
You're right.
Well, that's the same thing as this.
I know. And how many hours do I put in Minecraft? Zero.
So it's not for you, is what you're saying. Okay. So that it's not for everybody.
Oh, it's not for
right?
everyone. It's like a grown-up Minecraft. It's something.
That's why I like it, though.
It's a little more sophisticated than the Minecraft world, where it's all just really blocky. This has more detail. It has the grass that blows in the wind. It has the time change. It has all that aspect.
Yeah.
Deer, and you have woodcutters and stuff like that will help you out, or just the aspect, the social connection you get with some of these characters, I guess. It's just Minecraft.
But I like it. It's Minecraft for me because I don't like Minecraft. I cannot get past that 8-bit. That for me, it's just not. That one's not for me. But for this to have an actual graphic fidelity to it,
Yeah.
it is gorgeous. And if you can build this thing properly, like I said, you can build out a whole village with a big castle and this, that, a giant windmill, and there's working parts to it.
There
right?
is working parts, which is neat.
That's awesome.
You don't
I don't
have
know how to do it.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You don't have to build it from scratch like you do Minecraft. I know that there's hours and hours and days of YouTube videos on how to build stuff for Minecraft, but I just don't want to do that. I want something that's built and I can go through and I have an objective, something I can do with it, and that's why this game isn't for me.
So I'm going to go on a limb here, but you're not going to recommend this.
I'm not going to recommend this because there's nothing to it. There's no objective. There's no point to it, I find.
Well, there's no point in Minecraft for me either, but I'm definitely going to recommend this. I liked it. I thought it was awesome.
With realistic graphics and endless opportunities, Medieval Engineers is only limited by your imagination. However, with long construction times and no real objectives, Chris found this game wasn't really for him.
All right, so now we are talking about State of Decay Year 1 Survival Edition on the Xbox One. This is already came out on the Xbox 360. A lot of upgrades, all the DLC packed in. What are you thinking about State of Decay?
I loved it. I didn't get to play the 360 one, but if this is the game that they put out, I'm going to buy it just for the 360, I think, just to play the different aspects of the game. I love that you're playing this character, but you can switch characters and they can die.
Yeah, permadeath is scary, isn't it?
They die, and you gotta be careful because if your character dies, you're like, now what? And then you gotta switch over to another one, and you start running out of characters quick sometimes.
You can. I've lost one, and he's gone missing. You start off with Marcus. This is who your main character, your main protagonist starts out with, and then you get into the group, and then you're able to switch out. But the idea is to build up this community.
Yeah.
That's what I like about this. And then you can fortify around your area as well. So you start off in this church, but then you want to build up the lookout, and then you want to build up for more bunks so you can recruit more survivors. And it's all about growing the community, staying alive, and battling the zombies.
Yeah, now the zombies are cool. There is a lot of zombies. You turn a corner and there can be zombies there. You open a door and there's zombies there. And there's slow ones, and there's fast ones, and then there's super fast ones, and then there's tanks that you can hardly get around. Oh yeah, the juggernauts.
I hit that with a car, my car bounced off. I'm like, come on, man.
To smoke. I blew the tires off my car hitting a juggernaut. Of course, I had to try it again, and that's where I got into trouble.
It is awesome. My biggest thing is I'm afraid to go out alone.
Yes.
Because you always want to have backup. You don't want to go off on your own, and the next thing you know, you're surrounded, because there are hordes of zombies that wander the streets or wander this area. And one of the most enjoyable parts is if you were going down the road,
you're driving your car,
you open up your door, you smash, you go right through a whack.
That's right.
It is awesome. It's so much fun. But I am missing Marcus. I went out with him as a backup, and then somehow we got split, and I got back to my fort, and I can't find him anymore, and now he's out of my list. I can't even pick him anymore. I don't know what happened to Marcus.
No,
The
poor
dude's
Marcus.
just gone. I'm like, Marcus, where'd you go?
I've been killed being Marcus before, and it isn't pretty. They rip you to shreds.
Oh, see, I haven't died yet.
See, I've gotten... it's happened twice, actually. I've restarted this game twice already.
What?
Just
move on.
Well, I can't move on. Marcus, I think, is the main protagonist. Like you said, he is the guy who makes the game, but he's not apparently.
No, he's really not.
No, you can switch out, and there is a copious amount of different people that you can pick, all with different strengths and weaknesses, which is great as well. I like Marcus, so I've restarted.
Oh, man.
And so I haven't finished it yet. I hear that the end is just amazing, and even when you finish the game, you can go back, load your last level, and then it's like a sandbox. Just don't finish the game.
Now that State of Decay has gone to the Xbox One, they've had the ability to add more horsepower, which means more graphics, a prettier setting, but I didn't find the graphics to be that much prettier than the 360. It is enhanced, it does look better, but you can still tell it's not perfect, right? You see games like Unity and other ones coming out like The Order and all these other ones that have hit next gen full force.
Yeah.
Where this is, obviously it's been an upgrade, right?
It is an upgrade, and like I said earlier, I would like to see the difference myself. I haven't played it, but I can see where you're coming from too. Like it's not very pretty. It's not crisp. You know, there's some blur aspect to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets by. It is pretty in moments though. Like I'm not completely knocking it, but the graphics aren't that next gen level that everyone's kind of expecting to see now that we are in the Xbox One. But the draw distance that they've been able to enhance allows you to see for such a longer distance that you can almost plan out your steps that you want to take. So you go up to these towers and you can scout out about, and you can kind of, okay, over here is a warehouse and over here is a horde of zombies. So I can see those zombies now too, because the distance is so much further that I know I'm not going that way, I'm going this way.
Yeah, and you get the lay of the land too. You know, you can, if you're going like from building to building, kind of ducking out and in behind fences and stuff like that, it really helps you that way as well.
Yeah, what I've had a big problem though is I'm chugging. When I'm in a vehicle, if I start riding down the road, all of a sudden I chug and then I go forward and then I'll go and then it cuts. There's still there's
a bit of lag there.
There's a bit of lag still kind of interfering with some of the gameplay.
I haven't had that. Now I don't know the differences, but
yeah, that's probably my biggest issue so far.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, what do you think of State of Decay Year 1 Survival Edition on the Xbox One from Undead Labs?
I loved it. I mean, I'm going to give it an 8.
Yeah, even though it had a few shortcomings for me, I had a blast with this. For $30, you cannot go wrong. Absolutely, I get an 8.5.
Great price and excellent gameplay makes State of Decay Year 1 Survival Edition a zombie-smashing survival paradise. However, minor glitches and repetitive voiceovers do return.
Alright, that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching Inside the Game. Now, don't forget to follow us over on Twitter at 4nextlevelgamers. Chris, where can we find you?
At Man of Reaction.
Now, before you go, head to our website at 4nextlevelgamers. There, hit the link, the gaming highlights. Each week, we feature one of you, the fans, the friends, our viewers. Chris, who do we feature in this week?
This week, we have Castle Nova playing Battlefield 4 on the PlayStation 4.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Spotted. Just neutralized objective Alpha.